natural skincare is a big topic these days, so if you're looking to do something good for your skin, look no further than Pudding Stone Bath by legendary television and radio host Miss Free Marie. She's got you covered. Bath bars and all kinds of skincare accessories. Check it out today. You say you're looking for inspiration, a little bit of motivation? Hey, look no further. Generation Motivation, Minutes of Motivation by yours truly. Pick up a copy on Amazon.com and other outlets today.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
What's going on, good people? Hey, it's your boy Jay Snipes, aka the Podcast of the People. Hey, I got a very special interview today, one that's very near and dear to my heart. This brother right here, this is one of my homies, man. We're going on almost a decade. I got Mr. Marvin Hagler Jr, man, and this is the first interview that I've done for the podcast since my father passed, and I wanted to talk to Marvin because obviously, Marvin's father passed away 3 years ago, and I was able to speak with him and kind of talk about how I was grieving and some of the things that I was going through, and so I wanted to kind of take this session right here, or this interview, to basically be able to kind of reach out to people that are going through it, people that are grieving, especially when you have strong father figures. You have a person with a father that's in the public eye, loved and endeared by many. My pops was real heavy in the community as a teacher, impacted a lot of lives. So I want to thank you for taking the time out, man, to kind of share your experiences in hopes that it can help others, man. So but your father passed away. First and foremost, condolences. I mean, of course we talk privately, but but
same to you.
Yeah, my pops passed away in November of last year, 2023. Marvin's father passed away in March of 2021.
Yep, March 13th.
March 13th.
My anniversary.
Your anniversary.
That's kids.
You know what I'm saying? So
crazy things how the Lord just put stuff in front of you.
Yeah. So just to kind of start off, man. Once again, your father was in the public eye.
Yeah.
So you had a lot of people reaching out to you when they found out of his passing.
Yeah.
A lot of people that you didn't even know. People reaching out on social media. That's how much of an influence and impact your father made, man. So in regards to being able to grieve, how was that a hindrance to you because you wanted to try to grieve privately, or did that kind of help you seeing the impact that he made?
It was for me. It was so shocking because I was with my wife and my sister at the time, my younger sister, and so for us to hear that, it was just like a big blow. Talking to my father's wife on the phone and then trying to figure out what's going on. I kind of shut the world off. Like, a lot of people were calling. It probably took me about a month or two, maybe 3, just to get back to some of these people because of my voicemail was just so overwhelmed. I mean, from Messenger, Facebook to Instagram, you name it, and just to hear the same thing over and over and over, it was tough. You have to prepare for each conversation.
Right.
So the people you haven't heard from, I haven't talked to in a while, and you figure out how to even get your number.
Right.
It felt good at the same time, but also it was just, it was overwhelming.
Yeah. So, and the thing about it, I remember, with your father passing, I remember with him being a celebrity, obviously, I remember it being out there in the media. So I remember people were reaching out like, "Oh, did you hear? Marvin's father passed away." I was like, "Nah, I didn't hear." And then as soon as you go online, and you find out the news, and I know I sent you a text or whatever, and I know you were traveling at that time.
Yeah.
And of course it was sudden. You know what I'm saying? It was something that was like one day you're here and then the next day you're not, man. And that's the same thing with my pops. At least in terms of my pops, he went through a stretch for 6 months where we saw the decline.
Yeah.
So I got to spend quality time with him. I got to, say the things that I wanted him to know before he passed. Because it was just like once we found out that he was supposed to be going into hospice, we were like, he just got sick one day,
right?
And he just never was able to overcome it. Like he got sepsis, he got pneumonia, and he got sepsis, and then he would have moments where you thought he was going to turn the corner.
Yeah, I remember we talked about it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at least I was able to, spend quality time with him, and that helped give me a little bit of closure. It still hurts. Like, this is why I've taken so long to even come out with the podcast, because it's just that mental block of I don't feel like being creative. You know what I'm saying? But for you, for it to be just all of a sudden, like, you didn't even get to talk to your pops, man. So like, how were you able to kind of overcome that?
It was the last conversation that we had. It was in February. He passed away March 13th, and we talked about my sister. That he wanted to speak with her. Like, it wasn't a conversation that you would have thinking that he was going to be gone. It was just a regular conversation that we would normally have. It was brief. He had a lot of things going on that day, and then, I get another phone call, like almost a month later. I knew he was here in the States. As he came back from Italy, I know he was here in the States, and I get a phone call from his wife that he was in the hospital, and we find out what's going on. And then, an hour or so later, I wasn't thinking anything out. An hour or so later, she called me back crying that he was gone. And it was just a big blow. And I was just, I immediately started crying. I immediately just started having all these feelings of what happened, what's going on. It's like I couldn't, it wasn't comprehending at all. I just couldn't compute why this happened.
Right.
Because we didn't have anything about him being sick. So my thoughts was a heart attack or something like that. And when I heard other stuff, it was just one of those, why he died. I heard other reasons. So to this day right now, it's still a mystery. And so I'm not really sitting well with all of the stuff. But from what the conversation we had, in my mind, it was... It was more than what people say it is. He flew a lot, so there's a lot of things as far as blood clots go, as far as the vaccine that he was taking. I won't name the vaccine, but he'd gotten his first shot, and before he came over here because it was during the pandemic. So there's a lot of speculations on that, and that was my thoughts when I was talking to him about it. And that was one of our conversations, our last conversation we had. We were talking about the virus. We were talking about him taking that shot, and I was thinking about getting the shot. That was what we were talking about.
Right.
So it's just a crazy situation how some people have closure, and when it comes to that part, knowing that their father is going to pass away, and not knowing that day, it's just it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
And that's, and it makes it even tougher, like you said, because with him being, a public figure, it's a lot of misinformation. It's a lot of conspiracy theories. It's a lot of people that put stuff out, on social media and in the media, and they don't fact check, they don't know, and that's how a lot of misinformation spreads. And then it makes it tougher for you to be able to have any type of closure and peace, because when you open up your computer or look on your phone Like what? This is what they talking about my pops.
Tommy Hearns was like, yeah, because I told Tommy Hearns Jr. and he told his father.
Yeah.
His father told, what he thinks would happen.
Yeah.
Which was my information that I gave to them.
Yeah.
And then it hit the media. And I was just like, wow, like everybody, like news travels so fast. And then being a public figure himself, it was kind of, it was weird, like you said.
Yeah.
Social media gets out there, and everybody has their own speculations on what happened. And it was a little bit of a backfire of what Tommy said, but that was my belief in the conversation that we had. So I had no problem with that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, in regards to, legacy, my pops wasn't a public figure in terms of, that type of fame that your father had. But legacy-wise, with him being a teacher, he was a teacher for over 30 years. For 30 years, he taught high school. He taught junior high for a few years. And so, like when we went to the funeral, to be able to see so many people, we talking like past students, man. My pops made it to 85 years old. Matter of fact, he would have celebrated his 86th in September.
Yeah.
And to see all the people that he touched and to hear the stories, it was just heartwarming. And legacy-wise, I know he had so much influence over so many people in terms of them going to school, in terms of, him trying to be a, positive role model, in terms of him telling stories about us to his students, like being that, that strong father figure, and want to make sure that, his wife is taken care of, my mom, obviously, his wife, the kids are taken care of, things of that nature, man. It really helped me because I know that he made an impact. You know what I'm saying? I know he made an impact, and I know not just in the immediate future, I'm talking about for generations to come, because the decisions that we make now as adults, those decisions impact our kids, and those decisions impact their kids and their kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's great to be able to see that, man. Man, yeah. Hey, man, your pops was, so beloved, is so beloved by so many, man. So how does it make you feel to be able to see a statue built in his honor, man?
It's just overwhelming, man. It feels good at the same time. And then you read the comments, and you go into and you look at what everybody's talking about, how they talk about your father, and some good, some bad. There's always the bad.
It's always.
But overall, it's legacy, especially in the city of Brockton, city of champions. You got Rocky Marciano there, and you got my father there. So Rocky Marciano had a statue there at Brockton High School. And so when I took my kids, when we went to his memorial service, there was a lot of people there. So it was great to see that. Same thing how you feel. You get that same feeling that that your father was loved.
Yes.
No matter what people may say or whatever profession like you said, but as long as you know that your father was an impact on a lot of people, that right there is the best thing that I could have, and let you know that how proud of you are of your father.
Yeah.
And, you just want to make sure that your children understand the legacy that your father has taken on in this world, and that he'll never be forgotten.
He'll never be forgotten. My brother and my mom and I actually we have a scholarship fund that we started in honor of my father at our alma mater, North Carolina A&T State University. So definitely, it's like the gift that keeps on giving. That scholarship fund, he was an educator, to be able to help someone else realize their dreams of going to school, of further education. So
That's awesome. I didn't know that. That's good.
Yeah, man, and it was endowed. So North Carolina A&T endowed it, so they match funds now. So it has to sit in the fund for a year, accumulate some interest and accrue interest on it, and then they'll start to give that scholarship out annually, man. So,
that's good.
Yeah, man. But
my father has one too with Massasoit College, the Marvelous Marvin Hagler scholarship fund. So I didn't know that. So when we went to the memorial, we went to Massasoit. They had these videos of all the people that my father had the scholarships
that were awarded the scholarship.
Right, they were awarded the scholarships all the students. And I was just amazed. And at the end of all of it, they gave him an associate's degree.
Wow.
For Massasoit. So that's legacy. That's a start for somebody who's didn't graduate from high school.
Yeah.
For somebody who paved the way for a lot of stuff, you got to understand the integrity of the person. And that was him.
Yeah.
I live by that as well, and it just makes me a better person. I always try to be a better person and try to be better for my kids as well and be that role model.
Yeah. So, we're going to sum it up, man, because limited time, busy, man, whatnot. But so in regards to grieving, in regards to being able to overcome, what advice would you have for someone that's lost a loved one that's kind of trying to fight through it?
I mean, take the good, and remember the good and remember who he was. I hear my father in my voice every day. I hear him every day.
Yes.
So that helps me go through my day to day. And even when I'm talking to my kids, I can hear myself. I can hear him in myself. So I was just always there. And the best thing to do is just know that that's life. Life goes on. Just have that respect for your family, and just make sure that you honor your father in a good light.
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever situations that you've had in the past with your parents. Even if you didn't get a chance to patch it up, my brother had they had a little bit of beef, but at the same time, my brother it didn't stop him from loving who he was.
Yes.
And just continue to honor him every day, as much as we can. So.
It's interesting you say that because, like, my father, it's the same thing, man. Like, I hear my father's voice in my head. Like, I play so many, memories over and over and over again.
It sticks in your head.
It just sticks in my head, man. So many memories over and over again. What would my father say about this? Would he be proud? And that was one of the reasons why it took me some time to kind of be able to get back to doing the podcast, because it was like I had like a creative block. You know what I'm saying? I felt like me moving on to do the podcast was almost like I'm over it with my father. I'm over the heartache and I'm over the pain, which is definitely not the case. But at the same time, I wanted to be able to make an impact. My father would want me to be able to make the impact. He would want me to be able to carry the legacy on. He would want me to touch those who may be going through similar situations, and how are we able to overcome? And that's, what I'm saying, you probably can't see my shirt, but it says don't hope, be hope. That's a quote that I came up with, man, because at some point we gotta progress as people, as individuals, from just hoping things happen. Like, don't hope. You know what I'm saying? Hey, be the catalyst to make hope.
Be that hope for somebody else. Like,
be hope. And I feel like that's what my podcast is. It doesn't matter if you don't have to be on this grand scale to be able to impact people. You know what I'm saying? Hey, us having this conversation right now, somebody is going to see this podcast and be like, hey, man, those two brothers right there, if they can make it through, then I can do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's...
And we had totally different kinds of outcomes when it comes to, you and being able to grieve with your father, having that moment of closure, and me not having that moment of closure, and still coming to the positive point of it.
Yeah.
Those are two different things. So it definitely it's really good that people understand different walks of life that go through different things, but at the same time we still meet at the same goal, which is continue that legacy
Yes.
and knowing that your father's still there and proud of what you're doing. So that's the most important thing.
Hey, well, look, I'm gonna sum it up, man. Hey, as always, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking the time to, rap with me, man, and you know what I'm saying. We're gonna be there for one another to bounce, our feelings and share these memories. And
It's just the first one.
it's just the first one, man.
Yeah, man.
And for anyone that's watching this podcast that's going through it, hey, my advice is just to keep on pushing. You know what I'm saying? You're here for a reason. Hey, God woke you up today to do something special. Find out what that is, find your purpose, and continue to honor the legacy of those that, passed on before us.
Stay strong.
Stay strong. Hey, with that being said, I'm your host, Jay Snipes, aka the Podcaster of the People. Until next time.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.